IBM is sitting at $256.84. It's up 12.43% throughout the day, and in the after hours, it's up 1.53%. In the last 5 days, it's up 15.75%. In the last month, it's down 1.06%. In the last 6 months, it's down 14.95%. Year to date, it is down 14.6%. In the last year, it's down 3.03%. The last 5 years, it's up 82.98%. And on a maximum chart going back to November 7th, 1986, it is up 636.23%. IBM pays a dividend of 2.67%, a quarterly dividend of $1.69. They got a PE ratio of 22.37, a 52-week high of $324.90, a 52-week low of $212.34. They got an EPS of $11.31 with 939.89 million shares outstanding and 264,000 employees. They got a market cap of $237.76 billion. IBM declined roughly 10% over the past month. Recent downward pressure stems from market concerns regarding AI disruption to its consulting moat. Though a Q1 earnings beat and new quantum computing partnerships provide support, analysts project a potential recovery with a median price target of approximately $282, suggesting upside through 2026. All right, let's read the bullish view. Strong Q1 performance and guidance. IBM exceeded Q1 2026 expectations with revenue of $15.92 billion and operating EPS of $1.91. Management reaffirmed its full-year outlook, projecting constant currency revenue growth of at least 5% and roughly $1 billion in year-over-year free cash flow expansion, driven by double-digit growth in software. We'll do one more of these. Quantum computing leadership and investment. The U.S. Department of Commerce recently announced a collaboration with IBM to establish a domestic quantum chip foundry. This initiative, alongside IBM's existing fleet of over 90 quantum systems, validates its long-term strategic goal of delivering a large-scale, fault-tolerant commercial quantum system by 2029. Large-scale, fault-tolerant commercial quantum system. Large-scale. I'm going to end up knocking my drink over. Fault-tolerant. Whoa, ain't that a doozy. Do one more, screw it. Enterprise AI and hybrid cloud momentum. The company continues to pivot toward high-margin software with its Watson AI platform and Red Hat business showing strong traction. Recent product launches at the Think 2026 conference, including Sovereign Core for regulated environments and expanded AI security partnerships with Anthropic, bolster its competitive positioning in its enterprise AI. Let's read the bearish view. Threats to consulting moat. Investors have reacted negatively to reports that generative AI tools can automate COBOL modernization at a fraction of traditional cost. This raises concerns about structural disruption to IBM's high-margin consulting services, which historically served as a primary driver for the company's software and infrastructure modernization segments. Leveraged balance sheet. Following aggressive acquisitions like HashiCorp and Confluent, IBM's total debt has reached approximately $67 billion. Analysts worry that a higher-for-longer interest rate environment could increase debt servicing costs, potentially limiting the capital available for R&D in the intensive quantum computing AI sectors. Intense cloud competition. Despite its hybrid cloud success, IBM faces relentless pricing pressure from hyperscale rivals like AWS and Microsoft Azure. Cautious analysts suggest that slow overall growth and the commoditization of general-purpose AI tools may lead to margin erosion and further derating to the stock's valuation. Okay. Now we're going to keep in mind that this thing has an EPS of $11.31 and a PE ratio of $22.37. So that's not actually, that's middle range. That's not super high, super low, I would say. The EPS is pretty high. Oh, what am I doing? Let's read an article. Oh no, I'm way off. We haven't even looked at the earnings yet. Look at the earnings, okay? So on earnings, they were expected to get $1.81. They got $1.91. That's a beat by 5.45%. On revenue, they got $15.65 billion. They were expected to get they got 15.92. They were expected to get 15.65. That's a 1.7% beat. Okay. Pretty good, pretty cool. Let's go down and look and see the last time that they missed or if they've missed lately. All right. So here we go. They missed on revenue by 0.72% in Q3 of 2024. And then again in Q1 of 2024, they missed by 0.64%. Okay. So they missed in Q2 of 2023 also by 0.63%. So those are modest misses. They're pretty low. They're under 1%, but, there's other companies out there that hardly ever miss. So keep that in mind, I guess, if you want to. Or not. I don't know. Whatever you want to do. So let's read an article about this company. IBM. But there's one. Here we go. Some news stories. They got International Business Machines, IBM, trading 12.5% higher. Is it still a buy? This is from 1 hour ago. Best quantum stocks to watch as Trump's massive funding plan thrills the market. That's 2 hours ago. Trump gave Intel $8.9 billion. Now taxpayers are buying IBM. That's from 6 hours ago. Let's read that one. This is about Rich Dupree. All right. Trump gave Intel $8.9 billion. Now taxpayers are buying IBM. The quick read, I guess, version here. IBM is receiving roughly $1 billion in Trump administration quantum computing funding and operates more than 100 quantum systems through its IBM Quantum Network, making it the preferred government-backed choice over pure-play quantum startups due to its $62.8 billion in 2025 revenue and $13 billion in free cash flow. Intel saw its stock surge nearly 400% since receiving an $8.9 billion investment last August, transforming from a struggling chip maker into America's semiconductor champion in investor perception. The Trump administration is expanding government equity stakes in strategic industries, rare earth, semiconductors, and quantum computing, fundamentally blurring the line between government regulation and private capital allocation, which can distort management incentives when political priorities take precedence over shareholder returns. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I mean, I wonder, if a Democrat gets in office, are they going to come through and just be like, yeah, we're going to do everything that we can to, destroy this company? I mean, the back and forth of this stuff is absolutely insane. Back to the article. The analyst who called NVIDIA in 2020 just named his top 10 stocks, and IBM wasn't one of them. Was not, all right? So, let's go down. My goodness. You got ads everywhere. All right. The markets were stunned last July when the Trump administration announced it was investing $400 million into rare earths miner MP Materials to bolster domestic rare earth production. A month later came an even bigger surprise, roughly $8.9 billion directed toward Intel. The stock market has spent decades operating under a simple assumption that absent some national calamity, such as after the 9/11 attacks or during the financial crisis, governments regulate industries, but private investors allocate capital. During Trump's second term, that line is rapidly blurring. Over the past 10 months, the Trump administration has taken direct equity stakes in 6 publicly traded companies, not during a recession or national emergency, but as a matter of industrial policy. Now Trump is doing it again, extending the strategy into quantum computing by announcing $2 billion in investments across 9 companies and effective effectively expanding the government's stock portfolio by 150%. International Business Machines, IBM, is emerging as the big quantum computing winner. IBM is becoming the face of Trump's quantum push. According to a report from Wall Street Journal, pure-play quantum companies including Rigetti Computing and D-Wave Quantum will reportedly receive about $100 million each. Other beneficiaries including Global Foundries and Inflection, but IBM is getting the lion's share, reportedly about $1 billion. This actually makes strategic sense. Unlike many quantum startups generating little revenue, IBM already operates a profitable enterprise business and decades of government and commercial relationships. It generated $67.5 billion in 2025 revenue and $14.7 billion in free cash flow. Its quantum division already operates more than 100 quantum systems through the IBM Quantum Network. Whoa, doggy. Surprisingly, IBM may be the safest way for taxpayers to fund quantum development. The company has the balance sheet, research infrastructure, and commercial customer base to scale the technology beyond the laboratory stage. Oh, I guess this is a big old graphic here. What the heck? Granted, pure-play quantum stocks may offer more upside if the technology matures rapidly, but they also carry far more risk. Many still produce minimal revenue while burning cash each quarter. You can see this little graphic. It's like really long, I don't know. Intel went from turnaround story to government-backed revival. The Intel investment changed Wall Street's perception of the company almost overnight. Just last year, Intel's competitors were openly discussing breaking apart pieces of the company. Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing is said to have pitched to NVIDIA, AMD, and Broadcom the idea of a joint venture to buy and operate Intel's struggling foundry business. Then Washington stepped in. Trump's nearly $9 billion investment gave Intel something investors hadn't assigned much value to before: strategic importance. Suddenly, Intel wasn't merely another chipmaker struggling to catch up in AI. It became America's semiconductor champion. The analyst who called NVIDIA in 2010 just named his top 10 stocks, and IBM wasn't one of them. Since the announcement of the investment on August 22nd last year, Intel stock has rocketed almost 400% higher. The turnaround wasn't initially driven solely by fundamentals, but rather government backing, altering investor psychology. When all is said and done, markets often care less about what a company is today than what support systems stands behind it tomorrow. The hidden risk investors shouldn't ignore. That said, government ownership changes incentives. Corporate statism, where business and government interests become intertwined, can distort management decisions. Shareholders want returns. Governments often want employment growth, domestic manufacturing, or geopolitical. Corporate statism, where business and government interests become intertwined, can distort management decisions. Shareholders want returns. Governments often want employment growth, domestic manufacturing, or geopolitical leverage. Those goals do not always align. Let's be clear, investors made money following most of these investment announcements. Intel more than tripled this year, while MP Materials has doubled. The quantum stocks are rallying hard after the investment news surfaced, with D-Wave and Rigetti both rising 25%. IBM is up 7.5%, likely because the $1 billion doesn't represent as large of an investment to its business. But savvy investors should ask a tougher question. What happens when political priorities change? A future administration could redirect funding, pressure companies into unprofitable projects, or prioritize national interests over shareholder returns. Regardless of how you look at it, once Washington becomes a major stakeholder, politics enters the boardroom. Yeah, that's no good. Key takeaway. In short, Trump is reshaping how America funds strategic industries. First rare earths, then semiconductors, now quantum computing. IBM may ultimately justify the investment because it already has scale, cash flow, and deep technical expertise. Intel's revival also shows government backing can rapidly alter market sentiment. Still, sharp investors shouldn't mistake political support for guaranteed long-term value. Stocks tied to tied too closely to Washington can benefit quickly. Stocks tied too closely to Washington can benefit quickly and unravel just as fast when policy shifts. Lithium Americas is down 13% since its deal was announced. While the opportunity for a dramatic realignment is real, so is the new layer of risk. A large-scale, fault-tolerant commercial quantum system is an enterprise-grade computing infrastructure designed to run complex, economically valuable algorithms reliably by actively correcting the physical errors inherent to quantum hardware. Because individual quantum qubits, are highly sensitive to environmental noise and decoherence, these commercial systems bundle thousands of unstable physical qubits into a single, highly stable logical qubit, using sophisticated quantum error correction to be commercially viable. The system must achieve physical error rates below a strict mathematical threshold, allowing it to execute hundreds of millions of logic gates over extended runtimes without degrading the data. This level of stabilization is what will ultimately unlock practical quantum advantage for high-value industries, enabling precise molecular simulations for drug discovery, advanced financial risk modeling, and structural material design that are entirely impossible for classical computers. Yo, that's IBM for you, doggy. Y'all think IBM's just making your little... I think they make like ATMs and computers and stuff? Man, they're up to quantum, dude. They're doing some wild stuff over there. U.S. government-funded quantum research, guys. Yo, pretty cool. What do we think about IBM? Is it a buy? Is it a hold? Is it a sell? Let me know in the comments, guys. It's your cousin Dustin.